So, if you plan to do your brainstorming and your outline without using a graphic organizer, here's how I have been successful doing it and how I would suggest that you do it. So, before you can actually start outlining your essay, you do need to do some brainstorming. You need to think about your topic clearly and figure out what it is that you want to say, what the most important idea is in your essay, the whole main purpose. And then you want to figure out what three important facts or supporting evidence you're going to use for the topic sentences for each of your paragraphs. Again, if you're not super familiar with thesis statements and topic sentences, we're going to be talking about that in our next lesson, lesson 2. Okay, so if you'd like to have the background information on thesis statements and topic sentences before continuing, you can stop this video, go into lesson 2, find the video on thesis statements and topic sentences, watch that, and then come back if you'd like. So the way that I always prepare for an essay without using a graphic organizer is just by writing things out. So writing has come very naturally to me for my entire life. Trying to use a graphic organizer, like I said in the last video, sometimes would stress me out more than just writing. So for my brainstorming, I'm just going to start writing about the topic that I've chosen to write about. So let's say that I've chosen to write my essay about mini Aussies. You guys know my cute puppy that I got at the beginning of the year is a mini Aussie. And so let's say that I consider myself an expert on mini Aussies, and I'm going to write my informative essay about how many Australian Shepherds need a lot of exercise. Okay, so I'm going to start brainstorming and just talk about what happens maybe when my dog doesn't get a lot of exercise. So when Ryder doesn't get a lot of exercise, he goes crazy and runs all over the house. Oh my goodness. My typing is really bad when I'm recording, apparently. When Ryder doesn't get a lot of exercise, he goes crazy and runs all over the house. He barks more. He chews on shoes and furniture more. He what else does he do? He whines more. He won't sleep. Okay, so see how with this brainstorming, I'm not necessarily writing like full-blown sentences. I'm just getting out ideas of, what happens when my dog doesn't get the exercise that he needs. Okay, and realize, so some people might think that by me going with this topic that I'm arguing that many Aussies need a lot of exercise, and might get confused and think that this would be more of an argumentative essay topic. But the reason that it's not is because that is the fact that many Aussies need a lot of exercise is just you'd only try to argue that if you'd never been around one, right? So it's yes, you might be able to come up with a different opinion, but it's something that is largely accepted enough by people and the public that you can use it for this type of essay, because you're not saying many Aussies are the best dog in the world, right? Anyone could have a different opinion. They could have different reasons why, right? But the fact that many Aussies need a lot of exercise that's just true, right? Okay, so anyway, going back to the brainstorming, I'm just writing about things that happen when he doesn't get a lot of exercise. When he does get a lot of exercise, He is cuddly. He is more fun to be around. Ooh, one thing I forgot. He's still a puppy, so he still bites sometimes. When he doesn't get his exercise, he bites a lot more. When he gets the exercise he needs, he doesn't really bite. He doesn't bark as much. Right? So basically just the opposites of the things that I put up here. What else could I think about with this topic? I mean, that mainly covers most of what I would talk about in my essay, right? So now that I've just kind of let my mind wander and run wild with things that happen when he does or doesn't get his exercise, now I can actually go into my outline, okay? So I'm going to put my outline here and start. And when I do my outline, I'm going to start with my thesis statement. My thesis statement is the most important part of my essay. It's what everything else in the essay is centered around, and we're going to have more information on that, like I said, in the next lesson. But the most important idea or the purpose of the essay. So my thesis statement is many Aussies need a lot of exercise. Now I'm going to write whatever I want to from my brainstorming that I think I can make a full paragraph out of. Okay, so maybe with these I want to like combine two different ideas that could fit in the same paragraph. So let's see, I could say maybe he barks more and he whines more in the same paragraph, because those are kind of similar things. They both have to do with the sounds or you know, things that he does when he doesn't get his exercise. So topic sentence number 1 is going to be when my mini capital doesn't get the exercise he needs, he barks a lot more and he whines. Or he barks and whines a lot more. Then I'm going to do the same thing with just a different idea, right? So topic sentence number 2. When Ryder doesn't get his exercise, whoops, he is a lot more destructive to my house and my clothes. And topic sentence number 3, I mean. When Ryder doesn't get his exercise, he forgot my E there. He runs all over the house trying to get all of his energy out. Okay. So for me, this is where I would start. I would brainstorm and then I would just try to write a thesis statement and my topic sentences. Now remember that for an informative essay, you're going to have to cite sources and you're going to have to provide some information from outside sources that show that what you're saying is factual. So if I keep that in mind, I'm going to have to probably either I can keep these sentences personal and keep them about my own mini Australian Shepherd, and then link my personal connection to my dog to the bigger picture of what can happen with all Australian Shepherds. Or I could go in and change this from when my mini Aussie doesn't get exercise, he barks and whines a lot more. I could change that to when mini Aussies don't get the exercise they need. So I'm changing it so that it's general about mini Aussies in general. They bark and whine a lot more. Okay, so I know that I'm going to have to link my experiences to the general population of mini Australian Shepherds in the world. So it might just be easier to keep the entire essay about mini Aussies in general instead of about my mini Aussie. We'll talk a little bit more about that in later lessons, but this kind of gives you an example of the process that I use for brainstorming and outlining. Again, graphic organizers are going to work really, really well for some people, and this might work better for other people. So I hope that by showing you how you can use both of them, I've at least given you some place to start with your pre-write, helping you understand the importance of brainstorming and planning and making sure that you at least have a good handle on this information. Excuse me. Before actually sitting down to write out your essay.